Hello and welcome to another EG Recap. I'm Jack Lindsay, and I'm happy to report that most of you seem to like the music okay, which is good because that means I don't have to listen to a million snippets from a million songs anymore. One of you mentioned in the comments on last video that EG already had a theme. It was like one of the first videos ever posted on this channel, and that was actually one of the first songs that I tried, and I thought it worked pretty well until the point that it went with a bunch of really loud dubstep stuff, and that just doesn't pair well with speaking. So we're sticking with this one. Hopefully I get the volume of it just right this time. Let's find out. I've got 4 stories for you today. Some more info has come out for Cyberpunk 2077 through the Polish gaming press. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord is not dead and is in fact still in development and has released 20 minutes of beta footage. Blizzard has opened a new forum so that you can reconnect with people you played with back in the classic days and hopefully find each other before the launch of the vanilla servers. And I've got a non-news related article that just happens to be so useful I thought it deserved a spot on here. It's a guide that teaches you how to maximize skill points in D&D. So let's go through them. So recently, some Polish gaming journalists have been given access to a demo of Cyberpunk 2077, and their resulting gameplay has generated a number of articles on a number of different Polish websites. One such site, called PSX Extreme, recently posted about 10 pages worth of information about Cyberpunk 2077. And while some of it we have heard before, thanks to the efforts of Redditor Arise92, we have a compiled list of updates. These touch on everything from the skill and attribute system upon leveling up, to romantic relationships with various NPCs. But we're all still gonna have to wait till April 16th of next year before we see any of this in person. Keep in mind as I go through these updates that the translations can be a little bit rough, and I'll try to clean them up where I can. So as you know, Cyberpunk 2077 largely takes place in the massive Night City, but there are explorable territories outside of this city known as the Badlands. This territory is very hostile, with minimal flora and fauna, mostly extinct or eaten with the help of a much worse animal, humans. It's not a place you want to go alone or unarmed. The nomads living in these outskirts, the translation says, are the Wraiths and Aldecados. But I suspect that that's a mistranslation. I think it's going to be the Wraiths. They've got it spelled W-R-A-I-G-H-T-S. Wraiths? That doesn't sound right. I double checked and it's spelled like that multiple times, so maybe they are called that. I'm just going to say Wraiths for now. But these two groups have their own conflict and wars between each other. Wraiths are up to no good with the player. Aldecados, on the other hand, are slightly more keen to have a deal with you. The skill system is huge and tailored to your style of playing. As you level up, you gain progression points, which you can then use on new skills and attributes. There will be 2 types of points, one for skill, one for attributes. The level of your attributes will let you install certain chips only available to each. Using one kind of weapon a lot will also make you better at it. Same goes with melee and hacking. There are also bonus perks, passive, active, and ones activated in certain conditions. On top of that, there's street cred, which you gain through completing tasks. The higher it is, the more serious and dangerous quests are available to us, as we are more trustworthy. Your apartment has a few gameplay features inside of it. It's a place where you can check the internet, your email, and where you can store your equipment. V's flat is important to the storyline and a lot of meetings takes place there. Unfortunately, says the translator, you cannot modify it because decorating your apartment doesn't really go well with the vision of a dark, gritty spirit of the game. I don't think that's unfortunate. I know players like customization, but there's something to be said about identity too. Most of the viewers have been unimpressed with the driving sections, but this is still pretty early on, so that could get better. Stealing a car is not so simple, it says. If you do it somewhere where policemen or a gang can see you, you'll be in some big trouble. I don't know why a gang would care unless it was theirs. You'll have to fight or run and hide. Kind of like in GTA. There's no jail though. Stolen cars and bikes will not end up in your garage, unlike the ones you purchased. Loot is important, and besides all your usual stuff for crafting weapons and armor, there are collectible items for you to find. If you like looting, it might become handy to install special chips that help you find secret stuff. I'm a sucker for those kind of upgrades in games, because I have to find everything. Of course, the stuff you find is also upgradable. NPCs will also leave clues as to where loot can be hidden. Cyberpunk 2077 will have a deep relationship system. You can befriend a lot of NPCs. You can also become more than a friend to them, like holding hands and stuff, I guess. Having multiple relationships all at once is also possible. Oh good, that was kind of annoying in Mass Effect how you couldn't. Of course, not every NPC will have the same sexual orientation as you, so if you want to bang them, the translators say, you might need to try in a different playthrough. Animals are mostly non-existent in the world of Cyberpunk due to pandemics associated with them, but you'll still have a chance to see some pets owned by the wealthy elite. I bet there's going to be robot animals too. Between the years 2020 and 2077, cyberspace got hacked by a famous netrunner. Since then, corporations have created the Black Wall, which cuts off the hack and dangerous cyberspace from the rest of the infrastructure. Some netrunners tried to explore the deadly side of it, but no one has returned. Now, I have read other interviews where the developers were asked if you can cross onto the other side of the Black Wall, and they weren't very forthcoming, but I suspect you will. Religion is going to play a solid role in the world of Cyberpunk. In one of the missions, you explore a church with a neon cross right in the middle of a sermon. Some people will have old classic TVs in their houses, and it can be because of poverty, but also because certain religions don't allow certain things. I think that's really insightful. I think if technology came out that allowed humans to fundamentally alter themselves, there would be religious opposition, or ideological opposition at the least. Oh, here's a big one. There will be a New Game Plus in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, we don't know if it'll be there on launch or it'll be released afterwards, but we do know it will have it. And lastly, the game's ending will be dependent on your choices, but not just major ones. Apparently, side quests are also going to have a noticeable effect on the story and can change the ending. Article 2. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord gets 20 minutes of beta footage. Now, this game, if you haven't heard of it, was first announced 7 years ago, in 2012. It's been in development for that long. That's almost as long as Star Citizen. And this one hasn't sucked in millions and millions of dollars on top of microtransactions worth thousands of dollars. But you get what I mean. We still don't have a release date either. But I'm gonna have the footage from the beta playing in the background. And if you're not too impressed with what you see in these first few moments, I wouldn't really recommend watching the rest of the video, because this is about exactly what it looks like for 20 minutes. And what you're looking at is footage from a multiplayer mode called Skirmish, where two teams face off against each other on a desert map, and there aren't really any objectives other than just slaughtering each other. And as you'll notice from the footage, there are multiple classes you can choose from. Each of them have their own weapons and stats. You've got what looks like a basic footman with sword and board, you've got people with spears, you've got archers, and even cavalrymen. But I wonder, why would you ever choose just a footman over a cavalryman? Does that make sense? I mean, cavalry's just better, right? Unless it gets really complicated with terrain, maybe? Like places that horses can't go? They didn't show anything like that in the footage, so I really don't know why you would be incentivized just to be a foot soldier. Archer makes sense over cavalry because it gives you ranged, unless at some point they're going to have ranged cavalry. I think the differences between the two teams were purely aesthetic here, with one having a more European style and the other a little more Middle Eastern, but I think all the classes were pretty much direct counterparts of each other. Whenever one of these medieval warfare games come out, I always wonder, how is this going to stand up to Mordhau? Like, what about this game would make players choose it over Mordhau? And at first that wasn't clear to me, and I wrote as much in the article. But one of the readers from Exclusively Games, named Grant, actually commented on the article and explained why this game appeals to him more than Mordhau would. He says, yeah, I'm not playing Mountain Blade for the multiplayer, and I don't know how many people will be. Personally, I'm playing Mountain Blade for the ability to, over the course of hundreds of hours, amass an army, gain fame, favor, infamy, and eventually betray or break away from my liege lord and form my own kingdom. And it's true, you can't do that in Mordhau. So thank you, Grant. And do note, listeners, that sometimes useful comments will make their way into the video. Article 3, from Tyler Krasnine. Blizzard opens a new forum to reconnect with old World of Warcraft friends ahead of WoW Classic. In preparation for the release of WoW Classic, Blizzard wants to make sure you can connect with old friends. Since it's been over a decade since Vanilla WoW, many people who have grown apart since then have been looking to reconnect. The forum itself is split into several sections to make it easier to navigate. Each realm for both Horde and Alliance players between 2004 and 2006 is available. You start by selecting Alliance or Horde, then you pick server type, whether it was normal, PvP, RP, or RP PvP. From there, you pick the realm you want to find players from. First, you can either search using the Find In Page function of your browser for any familiar names or guilds, but if you can't find anyone, you can make a post of your own. You're supposed to write as much as you can remember, which is ideally your character's name, race, class, an original guild, and the names of the characters who you want to reconnect with. The link that takes you to this new forum will be provided in the article in the description below. Article 4 by Sarah Karwisich isn't actually a news article, but it's so useful it gets to be in here anyway. and it's titled The D&D Bard Skill Monkey. And I'm just going to read it to you guys and fill your heads with knowledge. So you want to be a skill monkey? She asks. First of all, what is a skill monkey? Urban Dictionary says it is a person or persons in a group who provides minimal roles in combat, has an abundance of talents and abilities which keep them useful to the party. Bards are arguably the best class. They have so much versatility that it's just impossible to play anything else, at least for me, she says. You can be any race, but a half-elf gets you 2 skills and +2 charisma out of the gate, and variant human gets you 1 skill, 1 language, 1 feat, and expertise in 1 skill. I also have played plenty of tiefling bards. I'm reading this in first person, but Sarah's the one who's saying this. I don't play tiefling bards. I being me, Jack. The bards in 5th edition have some splendid features that help them become an overqualified skill monkey. But if you truly want to be one, your first level must be in rogue. According to Sarah, this is blasphemy. But the basic fact is that rogues get 4 skill proficiencies at first level, while the bard only gets 3. Each of these classes allow a new skill proficiency once you multi-class, so it's the difference between 4+1 or 3+1. So if you want to be the best bard skill monkey you can, take your first level in rogue. You also get expertise in 2 skills as well. I'd recommend taking another level of rogue eventually to get that cunning action, because it's better than any other feat you might get by level 19 bard. Bards have the class feature Jack of all trades, which basically means that you aren't unskilled in anything, just less skilled. You get to add half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check you're unskilled in. Any ability check, not just skill checks. That means that Jack of all trade applies to initiative, the spell counterspell, the spell dispel magic, the spell telekinesis, or casting a scroll spell that includes an ability check using your spellcasting modifier. So that makes being a skill monkey bard even more powerful. For backgrounds, she suggests those that include multiple skills, tools, or languages, and their background features. Courtier gets 2 skills, 1 artisan's tool, and 2 languages, arguably the best choice. It also gets Court Functionary, which gives you access to the records of any court or government. Urban Bounty Hunter gets 2 skills and 2 tools, and Ear to the Ground, which gives instant information in whatever town you go to. Urchin gets 2 skills and 2 tools, as well as City Secrets, allowing it to move through cities twice as fast. Faction Agent gets 2 skills and 2 languages, as well as Safe Haven, which gives access to a hidden safe house, free room and board, and assistance in finding information. Sage gives 2 skills and 2 languages, as well as Researcher, which means you always know where to find a piece of information. You can pick one of 6 Bard colleges. The College of Lore, which she calls the don't worry I got the blank person of the party. The College of Valor, which is for skalds devoted to heroism and melee fighting. The College of Whispers, the guy your mom warned you about. I don't even know. The College of Glamour, for the fabulous to be more fabulous. The College of Swords, stabby casters. The College of Satire, sarcastic gestures that hurt everyone's feelings. And the best and most useful for a skill monkey is the College of Lore. At 3rd level, you get another 3 skill proficiencies. For just skill proficiencies, you should be at 12 if you picked half-elf and a useful background that gave you 2 skills as well. That's 12 out of 18 possible skills, not mentioning your tool proficiencies or feats. In summary, you get 4 skills from picking 1st level rogue, 1 from 2nd level bard, 2 from half-elf, 2 from the courtier background, 3 from College of Lore, 3 from the skilled feat at 4th level, and 1 from the prodigy feat at 8th level. That's 16 out of 18 total skills, with expertise in 7 of them because of 2 levels in Rogue, 10 levels in Bard, and Prodigy. You get 5 languages with Half-Elf, Prodigy, and Courtier background. You get 3 tools, with Thieves' Tools, 1 set of Artisan Tools, and 1 from Prodigy. You also have Bardic Inspiration, Cutting Words, and Cunning Action, which makes you incredibly versatile on the battlefield. Not to mention additional magic secrets and Peerless Skill, which works the same as Jack of all trades. Such a skilled bard we have now. You can also swap out the feats for something else if you don't see the point in having 16 out of 18 skills. Am I saying that right? 16 out of 18? I feel like I'm being a noob. She recommends the Lucky feat and maybe Actor as well. Both are great and give you great skill versatility, but ultimately you have the say in what you want to do and how you want to maneuver your character. She personally recommends the Sharpshooter feat. Now tell me you don't feel more prepared to go dungeon delving thanks to Sarah's help. It looks like she's already convinced one person to roll a bard. And I'm going to include the link to this article, along with links to all the other articles in the description below. But that's going to do it for this recap. Somehow I've come in at roughly 15 minutes, which is weird because I so specifically aim for 10 every time. I mean, it's not bad, I guess, it's just apparently I have no sense of what time is and can't understand its mysteries. I think the top comment last time was to put the highlights in the title, which I'm sure you'll notice that I have obliged. Be sure to let me know about the music volume and anything else you guys think these recaps could use. I'm always listening. And if you like anything, that's helpful too. And of course, Never forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.